All right, how do we lock this thing so I don't move around?
Just
It'll spin.
Yeah, lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's all. But you can let it like swing around and stuff.
Yeah, you can just turn the base.
Yeah,
And
it'll be
twist
fine.
it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think
like
what's
some-
happening is this part looks like it may be loose, but
Yeah.
like if you grab it and tighten it like that, it'll. Yeah, that's what's it.
Maybe
These
maybe
setup
not.
guys really clearly don't know what they're doing.
I didn't set it. I was Braxton.
That's what I'm saying. Do we clap? We got to clap. Yeah. Yay!
Yeah.
See?
Oh, good.
Everybody clap. We should have everybody clap next time.
Yeah.
Every time
we
this
can do
one,
like
this
a
is gonna
Jeff
be the new
Buckley
thing.
intro. Can you dance?
You might still be watching these. No. Which one is the one with the music?
One of these.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Oh, that's good.
it's not.
I don't know what this one is.
Oh. No, these are. It tells you what it is.
Okay. Well, I can't see it from here. There's the ducking button.
No. Are we ducking?
You can duck.
You guys got all kinds of buttons over there.
We do.
We
just
don't
push
hit
all of
any of them. I don't know what it's doing. You're messing something up.
Can you dance, David? If we play music, will you dance?
No.
Come on now. That's not very funny.
We're coming up on St. Patty's Day, a little leprechaun dance.
Yes. We've got this friend who, like, when he starts his videos, he like does a little dance. David won't do it.
He stopped doing the videos.
Did he?
Yeah, you hurt his feelings.
I see his videos all the time. Maybe he just blocked you.
Do you think he did?
If I were him, I would. Like, if you weren't my best friend, I would have blocked you a long time ago. I consider it on a daily basis still yet. I'm just kidding. I was just a kid, David. I was just a kid.
I posted a good video here recently. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. What was it?
You do have me blocked. I knew it.
What video did you post?
Oh, just stuff that I miss. It gets you all nostalgic. You should watch it. I'll send it to you.
Bet.
You can watch it. It'll be a good time.
Chris, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Lucas. My name's Chris Luoma. I'm the owner of Jerry's Automotive in Lansing, Michigan. We're a third-generation owned business, and owned the business for a few years now. And this is my wife-to-be, Lydia,
Nice.
my better half, that keeps us going.
That is fantastic. So,
Who's Jerry?
Jerry was my grandfather.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
so this is a long-term deal then.
I'm committed. I'm in it now. No turning
dude.
back. Yep.
That's awesome.
Why didn't they pass the name down too?
As far as Jerry's Automotive
No.
on down, or
Well, yeah, like
Jerry,
why aren't you
Jerry,
Jerry the
Jerry.
third?
good question. I don't know.
He started that with our kid, though.
Well, yeah,
Sad.
yeah.
He
yeah.
So
figured
we
it
have
out.
a Christopher the third. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got a Christopher the third, but yeah, we've continued the name and trying to keep it going. So
Very cool. Very cool. So is the business a general repair business or what's the...
yeah, we're general repair. We don't get into much diesel, really not a lot of Euro, maybe in the future, but right now just general repair.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so you said West Michigan?
No, Central Michigan.
Central
Lansing, Michigan, the capital city of Michigan, kind of right in the middle of the mid.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's too cold for me. I don't like the cold. David,
Yeah.
do you like the cold?
No, I'm starting to hate it too.
Yeah, I hate the cold.
You were complaining about it the other day, and I'm like, you know what? He's right. We should move to Florida.
Yeah, load everything up, just take off to Florida.
Yeah.
It's
You ever
beautiful.
think about moving to Florida?
Oh, I'd love to.
No. I'm not.
Oh, she shut that down quick. That was just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys look like babies. How old are you?
34 and 27.
Yes, you guys are babies. So let's wait.
I remember
15
being
years.
34.
Do you?
I remember being 27 too.
Do you really?
Yeah. It seems like it was
I see
yesterday what
pictures
happened.
of 34, and there were no cell phones, like prevalent cell phones, at 27. There you go.
That's bad.
They had just rolled out.
That's so bad.
Like the old OG iPhone was 2007.
The world was a better place without the phones. That's
You
what
think?
comes- Yes.
I mean, I still
think
had
so.
a phone. It was a flip phone.
Yeah. I mean, awesome
Yeah, but it was
luxury to have,
different.
but gosh, it's all the zombies we got walking around just buried in their
Yeah,
phones.
I
you
agree.
know,
I
so.
But we
completely
didn't have
agree.
YouTube. I mean, I guess there was a YouTube, but YouTube on your phone. Like, I can play it all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
Learn
Definitely
something
strong
new
tool.
constantly.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's what's
I don't
wrong.
I don't
That's
watch
what's
stuff
wrong.
about like destruction and what chemical explosion happened last week and what happened.
Listen, you're trying to learn what to do. I'm trying to learn what not to do. We make a great team.
You want to know what failure happened in some chemical plant in India that killed 300 people? And you're like, oh, I won't shut off that valve.
300 people.
Was it?
Way more than 300 people.
The one in India?
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, dude, Bhopal.
Okay. See, I knew he would know.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, she keeps me updated on it. She's on the
I
little
don't know about
TikTok
that
and
one.
watches the TikTok.
It happened a long time ago.
Yeah, this happened a long time ago. It was
okay.
Union Carbide, and they had this plant, and they made pesticides in this plant, and so it had these tanks, and one of the things that they would do is sometimes they had to heat the tanks with hot water, and so somebody accidentally turned this valve on, and the valve turned on, and it put hot water. Like even one drop would make this toxic gas, and it dripped like water into it, and it like wiped out a whole town.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad.
Where was that at?
Bhopal, India. It left this whole cloud of gas. It was like probably 10, 15 foot deep and like covered an entire town. Right.
Surprised you don't know about that one.
Yeah, there's a Netflix documentary on it. It's called The Railway Men.
We'll be watching it.
Yeah, it's pretty sketch. But there's also some really good videos like showing how it went wrong and what the valve was and why the valve was left open and how the miscommunication happened and where it started and all the steps that happened. It was a really crazy thing. And so like Union Carbide moved out of the States because the restrictions were too great in the States. And so they moved to India because they didn't have those restrictions. And they moved to India.
They still don't.
Yeah.
Everything's cool.
I don't know that I would call it cool.
I mean, a bunch of people died, but, you know, they're still operating. It's fine.
Yeah, it was that was a
They're still making their pesticide.
that was a gruesome way to go. No, Union Carbide's been gone for years.
Have they?
They got themselves hemmed up. They made some bad decisions.
So,
Now, you know,
if
I'll
you
watch
want to know,
somebody like you,
if you want to know how to prevent a chemical disaster, talk to Lucas. Anything else interesting?
talk to David.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to talk to David. Between talking to and giving hugs,
No hugs.
you like
hugs.
hugs?
Anyway, so last night, did you go to the thing last night?
We did, yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good time. Thanks for having us.
good.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah. I didn't do anything, by the way.
Didn't do
Neither
it.
did Lucas.
No, those
That was all velo.
Was it?
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
it was all velo.
Was it?
Very best.
They
party
just told
planners
us to
ever.
show up. We did.
Yeah,
I was there.
I'm pretty.
Anyway, this enormous man walks up to me. He is like 6'7". That's tall.
Oh, yeah, it's a big boy.
And he walks in, he looks down at me, he goes, I thought you'd be taller. And he's he knows that's the joke in the podcast. And he's like, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I thought you'd be taller. They say never meet your heroes. So you told me.
that
That was both a compliment and an insult all in one. It was genius. I was sad and happy at the same time.
He had to
I
have been
like
sitting
that
on
guy.
that joke, just so excited to
You
tell
really? You think?
Yeah,
He
probably.
probably saw you from
It
across
really
the way.
it
and was
rolled
like,
off.
I can't
It was
wait.
it was too smooth for it to have been like, hey, I've been planning on this for a minute.
He was.
It was very
It
natural
slipped
the way
out.
it came.
He didn't mean to say it.
No, he meant
Who was it?
I don't know.
Sure, you do. You just don't want to insult him.
No. I'm terrible with names. I forgot Josh Parnell's name. And the only reason why I remember is because he wrote it down on your love letter back there. And I'm like, Josh Parnell, that's who I was talking about.
And this is after an hour long.
No, this was
interview,
before.
right?
This was before.
boy.
So like I didn't realize he was the next guest. And then I'm like, because I was talking to Robert Morton about Josh Parnell.
Yeah.
And I was telling him about the beard oil and all that. You don't have a beard, kind of. a little
Well, I try, but it doesn't come in very good. We're
Yeah.
working on it.
bit. So he has a minty thing if you want to fill in the
Yeah.
the
Get
patches.
that up here a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, so and I'm like, yeah, who was it? I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. Anyway, he gave me this gift. It's very nice. It's Josh Parnell. Josh, thank you, Josh. So I don't remember this guy's name. He was enormous. Anyway, we ended up talking. He's a tech in Ohio. Yeah, one of 30 in this
Holy
enormous
Wow.
chain. Yeah, and he's like, I do 60 hours. He's like, I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but no comebacks, yada yada. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
How many techs you got?
Oh, we've got three
Right.
techs right now.
How big's the shop?
6 bays, 1 tech per 2 bays. That's something we're currently kind of looking at, but
Yeah.
we're doing some remodel work and some other things around the shop right now too. So not too much at one time. So
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. One thing at a time.
yep.
When you think about the future of the shop, the direction of the shop, where's the shop going?
Well, I tell you, I've looked at other locations in the area and thought, man, I'd like to have a location here and here and here, but with the real estate we have, the room we have to grow where we're at right now. The reputation we've had there, we've been there since the 60s. We built that building in 1990, but the clientele base, I'm just looking at growing there. I'm putting more bays on there, hire more service advisors, trying to figure out how to make the most of our room versus, having different locations and getting stressed out about what's going on there. I'm here all the time. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like I can see that building 4 and 5 shops leads to generational wealth. Like I get that, no doubt. But at least if we start and we maximize a shop at a time, because what I've seen a lot of shops do is they'll go and they'll start multiple shops or they'll build a bigger shop, and they didn't learn the skills that would maximize the first shop. And so if it doesn't get maximized, then the next shop doesn't get maximized, right? They don't take it to the limit. And so you're leaving money on the table in the first shop that you need to pay for the second shop.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So are you thinking expand where you're at? Or
Yeah, that's the goal. We'd like to expand where we're at. That's kind of the direction we're heading here, hopefully the next couple of years. So
right.
Yep.
Now, you said, hey, 1 tech per 2 bays. And I get that. I do. And since we went into 10 bays, that's something that we're doing, whether we mean to or not, because they've all got additional bays. And there's some conveniences to it, but it's made us substantially less efficient than we were. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So tell me, you say you're considering doing something different. What's your consideration there?
Well, maybe hire more techs, look at maybe, 1 tech per 1 bay, but that's a whole conversation there. Right now, what we've got going works for us with the 1 tech with 2 bays. We're working with Rick White, and he's kind of telling us, hey, start pulling those cars in and diagnosing them first before lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right. And get that up to the service advisor. That way you're in constant communication with the client.
You're updating them.
You're updating them. They're not wondering what's going on with my car. And then when these guys come back from lunch, they're rolling. They got 3 cars to do and some hours to turn.
So what were you doing before? Because it's been so long that I've forgotten what I did before I did that.
Trying to figure it out, just like we all are with some things. But I came in and it was, this is what we're doing. This is what's working. Our mechanics were their own service advisors.
Oh God.
Yep. So it took me a while to come around to that, but I knew that was a big hole in my ship when we changed that and what a difference that made. And just been going after some low hanging fruit. When I come in there, we didn't have a parts matrix. We didn't have a labor matrix. Our labor wasn't where it should
when
be.
did you take over?
Oh, about 3 years ago now.
3 years ago, they weren't running a parts matrix?
No.
Or a labor matrix? Well, labor matrix, I get that. But the parts matrix?
No parts
3 years
matrix.
ago?
No, fixed 40%.
A fixed 40% markup or GP?
Markup.
Markup?
That's painful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So it one step at a time. But
Your dad was running it?
No, it's my grandfather that's passed and my uncle that's passed.
Okay.
And, no knock to them. I love them, miss them dearly, but maybe stuck in the times of the 70s a little bit and trying to get it modernized. But boy, are we in a lot better shape.
Your dad wasn't interested in taking over the...
No, he's got a different profession. So yeah.
So how did it come to be that you took it over? Were Uncle and Grandpa still with us when you took over? Or?
For a short time.
Okay.
My grandfather and uncle died within 6 months of each other.
Holy cow.
It was a rough time, right there in COVID era. A few years ago now. A few years removed now, and I had
throw Chris the keys.
Throw Chris keys, and I
Dang.
had about 6 months to learn under my uncle, and
So you hadn't been even working in the shop?
I grew up in the shop. I was with Napa Auto Parts at the time, and managing stores and doing sales.
Okay.
Kind of waiting on my time and putting money in away and being ready for the opportunity when it came. But boy, it came awfully.
That was the
quick.
plan, though. You kind of knew that.
That was the plan, but boy, did it come quick, and it was kind of like a bomb dropped in your lap of, well, here it is.
It was the plan, but
Get
not
ready.
in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
that's
That's
Being
a tough shift really quick.
Oh yeah, that being in the middle of COVID, it was a big time holy shit.
Right.
Here we go. This is all the money I took that I had to buy the shop, and we're in the middle of COVID.
The benefit of that, though, like think of it.
You didn't buy the shop though at that point though because they were passed on.
Well, I was managing the shop, and when the time came, I purchased a shop from the family estate. So,
okay, yeah.
I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because all the BS that's going on in my life right now is that's if it's configured in that way, now nobody can say anything. Nobody can, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas
I didn't know you at the business,
right. But if you blend that line too much and you're just gonna, hey, come in here and run it and that kind of thing, dude, that gets messy. So I think that's really good that's how that played out, because I think that provides you some abilities. The other thing is like, while it was very unfortunate how that happened, you don't have any like resentment or pressure pushing back on you saying, no, you can't change this, and no, I don't want you to change that, and you're doing this the wrong way, and you're doing that the wrong way.
Yeah, he would have freaked out if he had marked up the parts past 20%.
Oh, yeah.
So did you ever talk to him about that?
people.
Well, I did. My grandfather was rather quiet. I'd come to him and ask him, well, what about this? What about that? Well, I don't know. You'll figure it out. I think that was his way of telling me, well, I probably shouldn't tell you. We probably need some work in other areas, but you're going to figure it out on your own, which I'm grateful for him doing that.
Allowed you to
Let me to figure it out.
Yeah.
How long before you joined up with Rick?
I'd probably owned the shop about a year or so.
Okay, that was
Rick
pretty
for a couple
quick then.
years now.
Yeah. That's
What
smart.
led you to that? What led you to decide to hire Rick?
Following success, such as yourself. Seeing, okay,
You're successful.
stepping back and saying, okay, well, who are these, successful shops across the country? Who are they working with? What are they doing? What's working for them? Because if it's working for them, it's probably going to work for me.
It was once you started listening to the podcast.
And the podcast, that was invaluable. Like I reached out to you a few years ago now and says, hey, look, I'm looking to do a parts matrix. Just on a whim, I say, I don't know what I'm doing. And you helped coach me through that. And I kind of stepped back and looked and thought, man, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit here. I got to get a lot of stuff in shape.
For sure. And it's like little simple stuff. And that's the blessing of the groups, is because like everybody can be in them. And like, it's really simple stuff. It doesn't take an expert to figure some of these things out. It's really easy once you have that base knowledge. But if you don't have the base knowledge and you don't know, making that change is terrifying.
Yeah.
So like when you started making those changes, what happened to the client base? Because that's the first thing that people always notice is like there's some shifts in the client base.
The big holy shit factor there for a minute, especially as we start making some, incremental changes and implementing a parts matrix, a labor matrix, then going up on labor. We went up $40 an hour, or just like that. And then made another substantial jump. And now I feel real good about where we're at with our labor GP, our parts GP, our sublet GP. We're right where we should be now. And
that's fantastic.
It's a good feeling, and it does a lot for your business.
Did clients push back on it?
The wrong clients weeded themselves out. I love that. And it's been a godsend. I tell you what, between the guys that text out back, which were their own advisors and making the phone calls and doing all that, which we know that's not ideal.
Yeah.
From that to not having to deal with clients and then weeding out some of the more less desirable clients, I should say. It's been a shift, but a shift in the right direction. Less cars, more money.
Yeah. What is it David always says? 10% of your clients cause 80% of your problems.
20%, yeah.
And that's very true, especially when you get into that takeover. And so, like, I'm intrigued by this, right? Because we've got a family thing going on where like multiple people were going to take over a business, and this was going to happen, that was going to happen, kind of deal, right? And it got really messy through like life happening and things going wrong. And so it's very intriguing to hear of a very different story and it going completely differently, and you having the opportunity to really take this and run with it.
Yeah.
So, Rick's the one who taught me to maximize the shop before I did anything else. Like, hey, you got to get this down pat. You have to make this work before you go anywhere else. Now, he also yelled at me and screamed at me and told me I couldn't hire an advisor. And he was right. I will give him that. He was right. David tried to tell me that too. But, was it your sales experience, you think, that let you bring the advisor in and make it work? Or how did...
Yeah. I think it's a multitude of things. The sales experience growing up in the automotive repair business, then being on the other side, in the parts business, just everything came together.
Yeah.
Leroy is our service manager, does a fantastic job for us. He actually worked with me during my Napa days.
Okay.
And decided to come over, and it's been a godsend. So a lot of help, took a lot off my plate, and allowed me to work on the business, not in it so much.
Did you poach a bunch of your former employees?
What's that now?
Did you poach a bunch of your former employees?
No, actually, I was blessed. He was the only one. The guys that are there, been there a long time. So
Yeah.
I was very blessed for that situation. I have good techs. I've been there for a long time. So
Right. And so you're thinking, okay, I'm going to hire 1, 2. Now, let me ask you this. What's the configuration in the shop? Because, like, Rick was not too pleased with my concept of bringing in a GS tech. He wanted me to hire, like, more high-end techs. And that would have been beneficial, but it's a lot easier to find GS techs,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot easier to blend the workforce in the shop. And it also creates this environment where my GS tech earns a little bit less, so I can maintain my labor GP on this technician. And then my lead technician, he earns a little more money, but I also charge more for his efforts, right?
Right.
How are you configured right now?
Well, I've got the 3 guys there. The one, Mike, has been there, 33 years. David's been there about 10 years or so, and Clint's been there probably about 10, 13 years. I take a different approach at it. I don't have a problem with productivity. The guys are on top of their work.
Okay.
I give them a strong base pay and just a bonus on hours accrued. So every 5 hours accrued, they get a bonus on top of their base pay.
How old are they?
Oh, Mike is 52. David's probably 36, and Clint's 40, 42, somewhere in there. Yeah.
So the 2 older guys, that leaves you saying, okay, one day these guys are going to want to retire.
Yep.
You thought about that?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, we actually just put Shop Marketing Pros helped us with our website, and they put up a really nice page for a hiring ad.
Right.
And we just put that out to try to build our bench because we know we're going to need some more skilled help here sooner than later, especially if we're wanting to grow. And my goal is to get Mike, our older technician, up front. He's been retching a long time. Body's starting to beat him up, just as our body's going to beat us up as we age, especially as a tech.
Sure.
And that's the goal, to get him up front and get some young talent out there.
Right. So do you find that when you came in and you took over, the complexity of the work that you're doing? So a lot of these shops like this, they're doing basic, very light, very easy services. They're doing parts changes. They're not really digging into advanced diag work, that kind of thing. Is that what you found when you arrived?
Yeah, it is. And I would say that's probably where we're at right now. I try not to get too deep into the diag. Just general repair. So.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, noises, loose parts, water pump bad, things we can visually see.
Yeah, things of that nature. Our guys are, their diagnostic skills are strong. David, especially on the modern technology as far as diagnosing modules, wiring issues. He does a real good job with that. But we're more focused around the general repair.
Gotcha. Now, when you came in, tell us a little bit about the systems in the business, because I remember this discussion. Tell us about, the technology that was implemented in the business and what changes you made when you came in.
Well, we weren't doing DVIs, so that's a big thing. And that's something that my uncle had flirted with for a while, just never got there, I think mainly due to just poor health at the time. And I tell you, that DVI is a game changer. We implemented that, and wow, night and day difference. The clients, they really gravitate towards that. Helps them know, like, and trust you, as you guys know. Yeah. And we implemented our CRM.
Okay.
That's working real good. We're Steer and AutoOps. AutoOps is amazing.
Yeah, dude. I love me some AutoOps.
Between that and the ads that Shop Marketing Pros have us doing, last month was February, but we had 90-something, 44 appointments and 44 leads. So 98 inquiries in a month, and that's blew my hat off. Oh, yeah. I've been patient and kind of waiting for that to come around, and it came around with the bat full swing. So that's kind of what we've implemented, and we got our eyes on a few more things, but got to kind of sit back and evaluate for a little bit.
Kind of let it slide to see where you're at and let it ride for a little bit. Yeah. How did the techs take to the new technology?
It took them a little bit. Mike in particular, he's old school, old habits die hard. That took a little bit like riding a bull. Yeah. But once a bull got on and rode, he says, man, this is the way to do it right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it provides that clarity, and it also covers their butts, right?
Yep.
I told you about this. Here's the picture of it.
Yep. And we've ran into some issues where it's covered our backsides already. So
yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. What's been your experience with him stepping into this? And
well, in the very beginning, I don't know, before he started working with Rick and all that, he was just working so hard. It was just nonstop.
Yeah.
And I remember it was around Christmas time. He was working so hard. We had no service advisor. And
Yeah.
he told me how much he made that month. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like, he was just a zombie, like too tired to even like celebrate. So
Yeah.
this year it's been completely different.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yep.
And I get like stepping into that role initially and like you have to put that work in. But one of the things that happens is sometimes we get caught in the trap of putting that work in, but we don't ever see the results of the work. Right.
Yep.
And we can't even enjoy the reward of the work, kind of like you, because I'm so exhausted. The money doesn't really mean anything. Like I just want to go to bed. Just leave me alone about it, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a good month, but I can't celebrate. I just want to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the baby was really young, so I was cranky about that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, no joke.
But like, it's not his fault, you know.
Right. Well, but I mean, like, there's some truth in that, though, right? Is because like we're also fathers,
Yep.
and we have a responsibility to our children, and you know, I think it was yesterday that David was saying something like, "I'll never forget." That you telling me that you missed? What was it you missed?
Yeah.
What was it?
My son's first birthday.
Yeah, he missed his son's first birthday to be at the shop and fix a car for somebody who did not care and never came back to the shop and still complained about the price, right? And so, like, you have to judge that. And I think we were in Caldwell Community College, and Jim Kokonis said something to the crowd. He's like, everybody talks about someday I'll, right? And it just doesn't exist. And it's like we keep telling ourselves, well, someday I'll get enough time to do this, and I'll fix enough cars, and I'll make enough money, and I'll do all these things. And then you look up and it didn't work, right? Like you're just not getting any closer to the goal. And I don't know why we do that. I think with it that in our minds, maybe not so much you, but I'm a technical guy. So my idea was if I fix enough cars, eventually I'll have money. It doesn't work that way. Okay.
Nope.
I'm just putting that out
Yep.
there. It does
Yep.
not work.
Yep.
You can't fix enough cars to be profitable. You cannot do it. What about you, David? Are you
You got to start with cars. You got to have some cars. It helps to have cars. I'm just saying.
It does, but like if you're
Try
not
fixing
making money,
nothing with no cars, you will make no money.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm also saying that if you don't have systems and profitability planned into what you do, you can fix cars and still not make money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, like I've been there, done that. How did they make it before? Like if they were at 40% markup and they had a really low labor rate.
Well, they did by the grace of God. I guess that's the best way to put it. But been kicked sideways one time or stubbed their toe, it would have been made for difficult times. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is like they just managed to somehow keep it moving and like arrange.
They were on like 1990 prices. They
Yeah.
built the shop in 1990. He owned the land?
Yes. Yeah. We own the land. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way they make it.
No
the bills
overhead.
are low. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no overhead.
Yeah.
But the guys couldn't have been paid that much.
No. They make a substantial amount more now. Yeah.
What did they think of that? I
they
bet
love
that's
it.
cool to.
Oh, they love it.
I bet that's cool to
They love it.
see.
Yeah, and that was a whole thing there when we flipped because I'm not going to get in the whole flat rate discussion and the pay discussion there. Let's not go down that hole. But we were doing flat rate and it wasn't working for us. And we switched to pay scale and I got some kickback initially about it, but once a paycheck started to roll in,
They were on flat rate before?
Before, yeah.
When they were selling their own tickets.
Yep.
That makes you wonder.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. It's like, I got the mortgage this month. Like, or this week, the mortgage is going to hit. Like, hey, all of a sudden, every car needs struts, and every single car needs tires, and every single car needs brakes, and
you can get yourself in trouble there quick. What shop management software were they using?
Napa Tracks. We're still using Napa Tracks. Been looking at some different options. I know I need to do something different there. That's next on my agenda.
I can introduce you to Monique from Shop-Ware.
Yeah.
Get you set right up. Really high quality product.
I've talked to people that are on Napa Tracks, and they're like, I have 18,000 canned jobs. I can't leave Napa Tracks. I'm done.
It does a job for us, and no knock to them. Them guys and gals are great over there, but we're definitely looking for something different.
I've got a friend of mine on Facebook, and he listens to the show. And he picks on me every single time. Every time I see him, he's like, I'm just never going to live that down, am I? So our Napa rep one time said, hey, I would love for you to look at Tracks. And it's free, and you can get in. And so Mike comes up and he says, "Hey, let's go to Applebee's." And he doesn't work for Napa anymore. He says, "Let's go to Applebee's. We'll grab some lunch and I'll show you the product." And he pulls out one laptop and he starts tracks and it locks
Is the
up.
Applebee's still open? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is it really?
And so it locks up and he closes that computer and he opens another computer and he turns it on. He's like, "This happens sometimes." And he tries to load tracks on the other computer. And he's like, "Oh, hang on." And then I want to say he even went to a third computer and he never could get tracks to open. And so
my
now I
gosh.
see him and he's like, "Man," he's like, "You're never going to let me live that down, are you?" He's like, "People still call me and ask me about that when they hear about it on the show."
Oh boy.
I mean, look, I'm not going to say it's a terrible product. David tried it. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, that was bad. They were there. It's so cheap. It's so cheap.
Well, that's included under Napa Gold, which is nice caveat to have, and it works for us. It really does. I know
Napa
there's-
Gold's like $750 a year, isn't it?
I think it's more than that. I think it was like $2,800 a year for the package. Yeah,
Well, that's the cost.
somewhere in there, maybe a little. Yeah.
I mean, that ends up.
Standard Auto Care's $750, and then the
Okay.
gold is
Yeah,
20.
750 to 900 somewhere in there. I think now, yeah, and the gold's like high 2,000 to 3,000.
Well, like if you just pay for Napa trucks, I think it's $250 a month or whatever.
So
And it comes with
yeah,
it comes with a DVI and it comes with access to Pro Demand, right? So for $250, you get Pro Demand, a DVI, and your SMS. Or you can pay for gold and it all comes included. And then what do you get? Priority delivery service or
well, yeah, priority delivery service. You're supposed to be the top lookup online when somebody searches Napa Auto Care near me or Napa Auto Care.
okay, nobody does that.
Right.
I'm saying but the Napa parts store at least delivers directly to you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Before
others, yeah.
before
And
they
there's
come
some
to
other
me.
things with that.
Trust me, they take their sweet time to get to me.
They treat me really well. Napa does me very.
I
very
get treated
well.
like a redheaded stepchild.
You are a redheaded stepchild.
I'm not a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah,
I'm
we
a
act like
stepchild,
one.
but
Yeah, we've had a relationship with Napa Auto Parts for a very long time, and they and nobody's perfect, but they've been damn good to us for a long time. So, yeah.
I and Jason Rainey was supposed to be on today or tomorrow, but it's not going to work out. We're going to do it remotely. But I do feel like we've seen more part quality issues here recently, but I think that's everybody.
I think it's everywhere. Yeah.
part quality in what?
Dude, I have been fighting part quality across the board on everything.
Well, yeah. Of all things, I'll tell you, we had 2 thermostat issues, dormant thermostats. Of all things, we had 2 issues
Listen,
recently.
we love Lester, but
Yeah.
Dorman thermostats.
I hear you.
We got Dorman wheel bearings for a car, and I did not realize they had done it. And it was like one of the assembly deals, and that's why they did it, because they needed all the parts, and all the parts came with this. So they were like, "Hey, not only does it save the client money, but it also."
But you use the hub, and maybe the snap ring and the nut, and then you buy the good wheel bearing.
Yeah, that's what they should have done, and that's what I would have told them to do, but they did not. And so then I find out it's been replaced like 5 times, and we keep going back with this stupid Napa Solutions Dorman
They
part.
just send the part number to Lester and go, "What the f?"
I think
I'm not
Lester.
nice to him on
I
the.
think Lester is.
He expects the nasty DMs going, "What the crap with this?"
And I think Lester is tired of hearing from me. We had a module issue that kind of like caused massive issues. Cost me like every bit of $6,000.
A dormant module.
It was this weird situation. I think it was like a 4-wheel drive module, and we couldn't get anywhere else. It was back ordered, and it was like this whole deal. And so we went with that, and then like it turned into one thing right after another. It messed up other stuff on the car. It was bad. It was
What
terrible.
kind of car?
I don't think it was a Jeep. I'll pull it up and show it to you in a little
That's
bit.
your own fault. You shouldn't have done that. I put a Dorman thermostat on a Journey, Dodge Journey.
That was stupid.
They're not available OE.
Yeah, that's what we ran into as Chrysler product. I'm not quite sure what model it was. It was a Chrysler product.
You used to be able to get for the 3.6 Pentastar. You used to be able to get a Molly from like Worldpac would send you one, or you would get the OE one. We call no Molly available because that's who makes it for Chrysler's Molly. So we try OE, and they're like, "Hey, these things are discontinued, not available." Okay, whatever. Dorman had the aluminum one with the built-in doodad,
Yep.
and so that's what we replaced it with. We haven't had. It was the only one I've ever done, and we haven't had it come back. So
Yeah,
Price
it went to
fingers.
another shop.
no, shit. Trust me. You know this girl. she the keychain that she had on that she gave me, or gave Juan. I wasn't there. The keychain referenced her eating something that I would not put on a keychain and then hand to people. I mean, I eat it. Why would you put, why was that on your keychain?
I mean, maybe that she was announcing.
Why would you announce that?
She has no shame.
Yeah, exactly.
No shame.
No shame. Confidence.
So that's on the, I don't know about that. That was on the keychain. So that's the first thing. And then she calls and I'm explaining to her, hey, she had attempted to fix a coolant leak on this journey, which had been banged into 1,000 times. I don't know why it's always journeys and Ultimus. It's always journeys and Ultimus. Anyway, it has a coolant leak, and she's like, yeah, I tried to put a thermostat. It's overheating. I'm like, well, you got to do the full assembly. You can't she tried to install just the thermostat, which I guess she had found somebody to sell her just the thermostat, whatever. So you got to do the whole thing. And then after you install it, you got to use an airlift to suck all the air out of the system. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, on these Chryslers, you will never get the air out of the cooling system.
Yep.
It will never work. You cannot do this at home without the airlift. You got to have an air compressor and an airlift. That's the only one. She's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll bring it to you. Anyway, it was like going to be like $1,300, something like that. She freaks out. She's like, I don't have that kind of money. I'm like, well, we have some financing options, this, that, and the other. She's like, I'm just a waitress at Texas Roadhouse. Okay. I'm sorry.
What do you want me to do with it?
No. I've eaten at Texas Roadhouse. I go there quite often. My kids love it. I know what they charge me. I know what I'm tipping. Lady, you're doing 5 tables in an hour.
Yeah, right.
You are making $200 an hour on tips alone. On tips. You're there for 3-4 hours during peak. So what? I'm sorry, lady. You're making more than me. You're making more than me on tips alone. Don't tell me. And then she didn't say Denny's. Had you said Denny's, I would have felt bad. Denny's
for free, y'all.
It's what Denny's is what, $10 for breakfast, right? Like
Right.
that's what are you gonna tip for that? $2? That's it. Okay, so she's gotta run 800 tables to make some scratch. At Texas Roadhouse, dude, a family of 4 is gonna be like $100 to $150, depending on what you get. If you get any kind of alcohol, which we don't, but I'm saying if you get any kind of alcohol, it's gonna be $150. So that's $30 right there on that ticket right there. Minimum. And they don't even do the 15%, 18%. No, they start at 18 when they put the thing on the bottom.
They don't even sing happy birthday anymore, do they?
No, they still do
They
that.
do?
Yeah, and the whole thing there. And the rolls are still good. It's a great restaurant. I'm just saying, like, they charge a lot of money.
Last time we went to Texas Roadhouse, you complained and you said this is shit food.
I did not. I don't complain about Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse
We
is
were
like
in Ogden, Utah. I still remember.
because it was Ogden.
That's going to hurt Cecil's feelings.
Listen, Utah's beautiful. The town of Ogden, the worst restaurants in the whole wide world. It's an entire like picturesque little cute town with like all this history and stuff. Shit food.
No, I mean, we
It's
just
terrible.
don't eat on 25th that often. If we ate on 25th more and not tried to like rush it.
We go to 25th Street, okay? And I order these nachos. They're like Mexican nachos, so they toss them in salsa or whatever. I can't remember.
I thought it was the pickled onions.
No. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I got sick.
Oh boy.
And we went back to the thing, and I go, Lucas, I got to go back to the hotel room. I'll see you later. And I just beelined it. And it was awful. It was a terrible experience, and it was expensive. So, like, the nice restaurant makes you sick. It's shit food. Have we had a good... Oh, that one place that we went to where we had the... I don't remember the name of the place. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Which one?
I don't remember.
But what did we eat?
I had some maple glazed tuna or salmon or something or another. I don't know.
I can't remember now.
It was across the street from the garage where we normally park at the Hampton.
But did you tip them pig?
Oh,
I always tip well. I tip well. I tip everybody well.
You're talking about the brewery.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That was good.
Utog.
Okay. Well, that was pretty good. That was good.
Yeah.
Every other restaurant we've been to, No, the steakhouse or that's cute. The
mining
steakhouse with the sketchy
and the drive up there too. It's pretty cool.
The drive is beautiful. It's a beautiful town. It's beautiful.
Just got to be careful of the food.
Yeah, you gotta be
The
careful.
food is terrible, is what I'm saying.
Note to self, honey.
Yeah, don't go there if you want to eat. Now, where you do go if you want to eat, legit, is what's the name of the place?
That would be
Pocono Mountains. Yeah,
Mount
Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they've got the best food.
Best,
Really?
Like we literally traveled.
Every restaurant we went to was a banger. Every restaurant.
Everyone, huh?
Here's the deal.
It was nuts.
We don't. A little secret.
We used to.
We don't travel for the podcast. We travel
To go to restaurants.
To go to restaurants,
Oh,
and then we record the podcast as a result.
Hey, I ain't kicking it.
Yeah, I'm just
No.
saying. Now we both hate food because we're taking this medicine that makes us not hungry, and it's depressing. Life is not enjoyable anymore. It's sad.
I'm not taking that medicine.
Yeah, you're just a miserable human being. Period. So I lumped you into that.
Anyway, great food there. All the restaurants we went to. We went to the little Puerto Rican place, just a little hole in the wall. Food was great.
Dude, I don't think there's
Italian
a restaurant in
restaurant.
this country.
This guy comes out in Crocs and pours
pink Crocs,
pink Crocs,
pink shorts,
and he poured the soup on there. It was awesome. The food, everything we had there was so good. And then there's this tiny little restaurant on the side of a lake. We go every time. They don't hold the conference there anymore.
But we'll go there just to go
Oh,
eat.
that restaurant is
Called
so
Water's
good.
Edge.
Water's Edge.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it is.
Now, you got to be careful where you stay up there because, like, one hotel's like an actual hotel and the other hotel's like a swingers hotel, so you don't mix up your reservations. You don't want to do that. Right? You gotta be careful.
Why do you know that?
It's like a whole deal. Tom Shearer told me about it. He's like, you don't pull into the place.
Why does Tom Shears know?
I asked
Wait a
that.
minute,
I
Tom.
did ask that. I don't know. None of my business. None of my business.
Anyway, it's an hour drive from the airport. You fly into where? Allentown. You fly into Allentown. It's an hour drive there.
You get to stop and see Tom, right?
Yep,
So you can
right.
stop, hang out with Tom for a little bit, drive up there, get some food.
Just don't go to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom will tell you which place to not.
He knows.
Tom knows.
Tom knows. Tom knows. It's a little weird. Not saying anything.
Anyway, top three restaurant I've ever been to. Easily.
Yeah. And I mean, we've eaten at some like really high end restaurants,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Alexander's in where do they hold the race in California? Starts with a P.
Pocono?
No. In California.
Oh,
See? I'm doing that right now.
I got a blank.
I'm going to look.
It's a NASCAR race in California. Starts with a P. Pasadena.
Yeah. Yeah, Pasadena.
Pasadena, California.
Yeah.
There's a place called Alexander's. That's in the top three.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Water's Edge. Top
Water's
three.
Edge.
I don't know what the third one is.
Hey, did y'all see that old, what's the actor's name that just died? You know. Surely you know. The actor that died with his wife. They found.
Oh,
yeah.
and the dog
the
died.
dog, too. Yeah, they all
It was
Gene
died.
poison,
Hackman.
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
No. Way better than that. Way better than that. Oh,
The maid did it, didn't she? I knew it. That maid was sketchy.
So,
dog
dude, this
died.
whole story is so fucked up, and I felt so terrible. I read it.
It was the daughters, by the way.
No,
It was the
killed
daughters.
dog too?
No, the dog. I don't know if they killed the dog. They 100% poisoned those parents.
no.
was the kids?
No, it's way, dude. It's
It was
way,
the kids.
He doesn't know what
Allegedly.
the fuck it's about. No,
Gene Hackman and his wife.
But and the dog, right?
half
This
of
is
our
a story.
podcast is literally him talking shit and me not being able to get my words out. Okay, that's half the show. If we got AI to cut him out, this thing would be 10 minutes long.
10 minutes.
Yeah, just you ranting and raving about nothing. No, okay. So Gene Hackman had very advanced Alzheimer's, and they had outside dogs and they had inside dogs. The wife had hantavirus, which comes from like mouse or rat feces. She had that, and she thought she had a cold. Evidently, she was taking medicine, and it ended up killing her. So he walked around that house for who knows how many days trying to and they brought up the fact, could you imagine, this poor guy is walking around the house trying to find his wife. He finds his wife, and this cycle just keeps repeating over and over. And he couldn't take care of himself, right? So she had to make him drink water. She had to make him eat. She had to handle like all of his care. So this poor dude was walking around his house. He would find his dead wife, and then he would like get upset and he'd freak out and he'd walk around again, is what they suspect happened, until the dog died of dehydration and he died of dehydration.
Do you know how long you have to live to die from dehydration? That's like weeks.
Well, I don't know
I think
that
it was like a week before that
Yeah.
shit was dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened with the daughters? They were seen laughing and like joking around and messing. Like walking into the police station to go report their
But, I
parents
mean,
were dead.
Let's be completely honest about that. Let's think about that for a minute. Like, there were times right after mom died, and I've witnessed this in other situations where like you like the grief that happens in that, you don't feel grief, so it doesn't matter. Like your mom could die tomorrow and you'd be like, good, thanks. Great. Nothing to do.
Good, I would say good.
You would. I know you would. I know you well enough to know you'd be like, well, don't have to deal with that anymore. Okay, let's go. You think after all these years I would buy any other explanation? No, I
Just
know
spent
you.
$100,000 to fix a stupid basement. She better get her use out of it. If she croaks tomorrow, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, that's the only reason you would even care. I agree. I know. But I'm just saying, like, the emotion comes in waves. Like, you don't necessarily,
I don't know,
you're
they
not
look like-
sad all the time. And sometimes you laugh and sometimes you cut. Some people cry during grief. There was a whole study on that they used for the I'll see if I can find the documentary where they were talking about serial killers. They're talking about other people that police officers used to look at somebody, and if they laughed or if they responded in a certain way, they would say, oh, they must have had something to do with this because they don't care. And then they found out through psychology that no, that's not true. People will laugh in severe cases of grief, and they'll do other things. They'll act crazy, and it's not an indicator of guilt.
I don't know. They gave me Menendez vibes.
Everybody gives you Menendez vibes.
No, they did. I don't know. There's pictures. That's creepy. I don't know. The whole thing is.
I've not seen it, but either way, basically they've proven that she died of mouse poop virus.
The hell was she doing with the mouse poop?
Dude, you don't have to like eat it. You don't have to like snort it or something. Like it could be in your house, and like there could be a buildup of it, and it get into the air system, and you breathe it, and that's it. Boom.
I guess I better get those mouse traps out, honey.
Yeah,
We got the air ducts cleaned.
it's fine.
I did not get my air ducts cleaned. I've had quite a few mice get into the shop. Because you hear them. Time to get the mouse trap out.
Yeah, that's bad. We moved to the country, and
Yeah.
when we first moved in, I remember finding a couple piles. I was freaking out. It was always in the kids' living room, so I was like freaking out about it. But
Yeah.
I think we got it taken care of.
I mean, they weren't eating the poo, right? So it's usually fine.
No, but we have
Like
one of
a little
those
piece of
couches
candy.
that you pull out and it lifts up to like a mega couch.
Oh,
and I remember
like
pulling
stuffed
it
in
out,
there.
and I was like,
Ugh.
"Oh my gosh!" And yeah,
You got in trouble for that, didn't you?
I took
You're
it
not
out
the
on
one who
him,
pooped on the
yeah.
couch, but you're the one who got in trouble.
I'm at work 100-degree days, sweating, trying to hump cars, and oh yeah, I heard about that one.
Nah, man, I can't believe you let those mice poop on that
I
couch.
know.
That was
I know,
unbelievable.
such
Did you get the
poor choice.
plastic traps? Those are the best ones.
no, he
with
liked the
teeth.
wooden ones.
The wooden ones, which make you want to take your fingers off about every time you try to sell.
No, go get the plastic,
plastic
ones
guys.
with the teeth. They're plastic.
Oh yeah,
They do not get out because they will get out of the
those
wooden
are nasty
ones.
little things right there. Yeah.
We
It will crush that mouse in half almost,
I think
Yeah.
we were
and they don't
nervous
get
because
out.
the kids though, like where to
Yeah.
place them.
Yeah.
because
Out of the way, yeah.
yeah, Christopher's at the age where like all they want to do is like commit suicide. Like at that point where you're just
Yeah.
chasing them around.
nonstop.
He would have
That's a
found
thing.
it and he would have done it.
So we have a SodaStream, right? And having businesses which use actual CO tanks for like drink machines instead of like running a pipe or anything like that. I bought an adapter, and I'll go in there and fill up my SodaStream bottles to like make carbonated water and stuff. And so my son, it's in this room, and at the front of my bedroom in my house, there's like this big, huge 4-foot screen door that closes off this little closet area. And so I'm in there, and I told him, I was like, hey, stay out of here because there's mouse traps in there, right? She keeps mouse traps in there just to make sure. She's caught a few in there, and she wants to be safe, right? And so I said, hey, stay out of here. There's mouse traps in here. I'm going to do this. And so I went in and started filling that thing up, and he came in there, and he hit that door. He didn't open the door. He hit the door. The door hits me, and I fall over and slam my hand down on the mouse trap, and it like popped my fingernail.
Was it like the wooden ones? or-
Yes.
See, that plastic one would have bit that whole finger right off. That you weren't getting out of that one. I'm just telling you, get the plastic one because it will crunch that mouse.
Just don't fall on it.
Yeah, don't do that.
You've never had the mouse because it doesn't kill the mouse. The wooden ones, it comes down on the mouse, and if it like half gets its head, it starts to squirm, and then it starts to like crawl away, and it's going.
Yeah, we found a leg once, and then like months later in the basement, we're like, there it is. There's another part of the mouse.
Yep.
How long had it been there? Did it like die, or did this dude like
I don't
live
remember
the rest
that
of his life with half a leg and like just?
I don't remember that
No,
one.
I do, because when we moved in, it was bad, and like I didn't know what to do with mice. It was in
Well,
one of
we
the.
didn't live in the country.
I know. It was in one drawer, and I remember being like, Chris, there's blood in here. I don't see a mouse, though. And so, like, it was. And
Ralphie took
it was
off.
gross. Yeah.
You know, look.
Ralphie, you named it.
Oh yeah, they're all Ralphie.
Here's the.
I hate them.
You know,
They're so cute. You ever catch one like live?
Ugh.
You catch it like it grabs the
Yes.
tail and it's in there like.
I remember saving
It's
one
so
as a
cute.
kid, but I wasn't a kid. I was probably like 19.
I mean, they're
don't know.
disease ridden, but other than that, they're adorable.
Right, yeah.
Everybody always says they want to move to the country, and then they move to the country and figure out that the country has some attributes that are not present in
Yes, sir.
other parts.
Mice.
Yeah.
That's why you get a cat, an outside cat. No, you don't want
I
one
know.
inside.
We want a cat, but we have a bird, so it's.
Yeah,
but you-
you won't have a bird. It'll be.
The cat
be
stays
okay.
outside. Don't let the cat inside. The cat's got to be outside because then you get that weird disease where it infects your brain and then makes you do things. The cat lady disease. You know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like I'm crazy.
I don't know. The cats do work. I feed the neighbor's cat. I didn't know it was the neighbor's cat when we first moved there, and I used to let it. We have a sunroom, and the cat used to hang out with me all the time. And then
They called and want their cat back.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
then we had it was like a trash cat. That's what I used to call it. That was a tweaker cat. I don't know what happened to him.
Turns out Chris went next door and said, "Hey, I need you to tell my wife that's your cat right there."
This is a real parasite.
The tweaker cat got shot.
A real parasite called Toxoplasma gondii that can be transmitted through contact with infected cats or their feces. This parasite can cause toxoplasmosis, an infection that can lead to flu-like symptoms, swollen lymph nodes, and other health problems. But it says they think like it once it infects your brain, it makes you do things.
You know, hey, Eric Merchant. Eric Merchant has swollen lymph nodes right now. So he had this bad infection on the lymph node.
Does he have
you
cats?
You might ask him if he's got cats. I bet he's got crazy cat lady
Well,
syndrome.
There you go.
I bet you that's what happened. Dude's acting crazy.
It is very prevalent, by the way. A lot of people have it. You never know. You pet that cat, you probably have it now. There you go.
I do pet that cat.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's gonna.
Then she all of a sudden, after she pet the cat, going, we should get a cat. Maybe 7.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
you
you know
that's about it. Yeah, let's become one of them. Bring me to your herd.
I'm just curious. Like, should we check the obituaries in Central Michigan in a few days? What happened? We don't know.
We'll never know.
Do not release that episode, she says. I don't
This
know,
is
man.
interesting. You get blueberry muffin lesions on your
What?
skin. Newborns do, if it infects them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Interesting.
Great. Tomorrow, David's going to be a veterinarian.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it sounds like. Yeah.
No, I look up diseases because you never know.
And I look up chemical safety stuff. Like, you think I'm the weird one?
What? You could catch something. You want to know how to deal with it. You can't just go to the doctor. Look what happened to Connor. You know Connor?
Connor.
Tracy?
From Connor Tracy
Kukui.
from
Yeah,
Kukui.
Kukui. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
poor Connor.
Yeah, he's local to us actually.
Yeah, poor Connor.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Poor
he-
Connor.
Yeah.
he's in Dallas. Doesn't feel all that good.
This cat was yellow green, something. Like his skin tone
Wow.
was like off. And we're recording, and he's got like beads of sweat dripping down his face. And David and I are like not trying to ask him if he's okay, because we don't really care.
I didn't
but
notice anything.
You're a pretty oblivious human being.
You were sick too.
I was sick as a dog.
Well, see, everybody was sick. I don't know. Anyway, turns out his gallbladder had
Died.
failed.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he had huge gallstones, and it was now messing his liver up, and his liver was shutting down.
Yeah.
He had gone to the hospital, and they had given him.
They misdiagnosed
They
him.
misdiagnosed him entirely.
But he was yellow.
Yeah, he was like,
I'm no doctor, but I know that's with the liver, right?
yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so he got misdiagnosed in Dallas. He goes back home. His wife's a nurse.
Oh.
So he got bad enough that he got super yellow, and his wife's like, "Hey, we got to go to the hospital. Like, there's something wrong with you for real." And that's when they diagnosed him, and he had to have emergency surgery to hack the thing out. My point is,
Wow.
you don't go to the doctor. You got to figure out what's wrong with you first. Go get some blood work.
Connor needs his testing time feedback.
I know, right? See, that's what I said. Get a refund.
Do you think they would have given him a refund?
Hell no.
I know.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That like what's the percentage that they're right? Less than 1?
No, I mean, they're usually right sometimes. You know what it is? I think they guess a lot. They're like, hey, we think you have this. So here's some broad spectrum antibiotics. It's going to kill whatever's in you.
Yeah.
And then
you
they
know-
take it and
There was a whole article on this while we're on the subject. There's a whole article on the use and like a whole NIH study on the use of a particular broad spectrum antibiotic that should not have been used except for in emergent cases that every doctor started prescribing to people just out of nowhere. And it was causing like hardcore mental illnesses and all kinds of stuff. And like it was making people really sick. It was killing people. And then they found out, they like started tying all this back together and like, oh shit, whoops, our bad. It's a very, very commonly prescribed antibiotic. I'll go look it up. I got a bottle of it at home. I say this kind of like a prepper, right? Like I ain't gonna take that unless it's a dire emergency. And if the world ends, I might need it. So I'm just gonna leave it.
they sell
around
kits
there.
now. They sell kits. Have you seen the kits?
The prepper kits.
The prepper
Oh, yeah.
kits.
It's
It's
The
been like
medicine
20 years
prepper.
they've been selling that.
No, these are medicine prepper kits.
Yeah, they'll send you the antibiotics.
Antibiotics, ivermectin, a whole mess of medicines to have on hand just in case another coronavirus comes back.
No, it's more like doomsday. I have a doomsday box.
You do have a doomsday
Oh, yeah.
box? What's in the doomsday box?
Some antibiotics. No, we took those a while ago, actually. Those aren't, I need to put those back in there.
Boxes in rough shape.
Got matches, peroxide. You always need peroxide.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
batteries. I don't know, a bunch of random stuff. But I feel like that was not last year, but the year before when I think they were really scaring us online about it.
Yeah.
And then
you
I
guys were
kept,
Michigan. You got extra scared.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I kept picking things out of the box, so there was not much in there. But I have like the straws, like the water straws, where you can drink really dirty water. Got them for
The
all everyone in
apocalypse
the
is going to
family.
happen.
Oh,
and you're
wow.
going to go to that box and you'll be like, shit, that thing's empty.
Well, it's empty.
Damn.
Portico.
Our
But what's
power
your
went
plan?
out for like 4 days, and I was like, my time to shine. I had like the gallons of water for the toilets. We were the only ones without generator, but we were good. I had it.
Did you buy a generator?
We've got one now.
Oh, yeah.
We've got one
I didn't
now.
have it that much, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's definitely like, if you're going to live in the country, like,
Gotta have it.
you got to have a generator.
I can
'Cause you never know.
But, yeah.
No, I mean, we got a wood stove. You just build a fire and go on about
Yeah.
your life. You don't really need power.
What are you talking
It
about?
was summertime.
How's my
and the
Wi-Fi supposed to
dishes,
connect?
That was so gross.
I got to have my Wi-Fi.
Did you know I was at, so when the hurricane hit,
Yeah.
I was at ASTA.
Okay.
And like, dude, it was bad. And like, for us not to have power at my house, we're on a main transmission line. So when we don't have power, it's a thing, right?
Nobody has power. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I called Alex and I said, hey, I hear it's really bad up there. She's like, it is. I said, do you want me to come home? And she said, let me tell you something. If you think I'm going to sit in this house with you with no power and no Wi-Fi and no cell phone service, you are crazy. You stay right where you're at until the power comes back on.
She did say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I stayed right where I was.
Yep.
It sounded like she was very serious. I mean, like when she mentioned the homicide thing, like it seemed very, very Yeah, she was gonna murder me.
Anyway,
Stay away.
that's what I'm saying. You got to have a generator. Wood stove's not going to cut it.
Yeah, but
Generator
there
for
was
the
no-
electricity.
Dude, it was
Starlink, bro.
It was 4 weeks.
Starlink.
I have Starlink now, but you didn't have Starlink then.
Okay, well, you know now to have Starlink, you got to have the generator.
I got
That
a
wood
solar
fire-
panel for the. I got a solar panel for the Starlink.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Not on the roof though. It would just blow right off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you got to have a generator and lots of diesel, propane. What do you have?
Propane.
Yeah.
Propane,
How big is it?
I don't know the exact gallons. That's a big one though. I don't know. I'm still a city boy out in the country, so I don't know how big it is. I just know it's expensive to fill.
So I feel like a real dumbass now that we're talking about this. You know, the power was out for so long and everything else. There is a box truck sitting in front of the shop that's got like a 28 kilowatt generator in the back. This dude left it there a long time ago. It's got a giant John Deere on it. Could have fired it up. It's full of diesel fuel. It's got like 400 gallons of diesel fuel in it.
They're in the country and they're in Michigan, so like you guys could get snowed in, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where you're not going anywhere for a couple days. Till,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a tractor yet?
Yeah, we got a tractor.
Yeah.
What kind of
well,
tractor?
the tractor.
It's
will
old
dig
John
out.
Deere.
See?
It works half the time, it does the job half the time. Yeah.
That might be the operator more than the tractor.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
I am the one that
Yep.
uses the tractor.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I take it back. I was
You
just
got a
kidding.
plow on that though, right?
We've got a plow attachment, but it's
Yeah.
hooked up.
I don't use it. I have a little buggy on the back of it. Take it around.
No.
Just haul your stuff.
For like gardening and
gardening
stuff.
and
Yeah, I
whatnot,
stick the
yeah.
kids in the back a lot, and
That's the life. Like
Yeah.
that's how kids are supposed to come up.
Agree. Yeah.
On the country,
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
fighting the mice
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and the
Oh, yeah.
toxoplasmosis.
Yep. Neighbor's kitty.
Sounds like Tom Shearer looking for the neighbor's kitty.
Oh boy.
Last 10 minutes. Nobody listens to the last 10 minutes, so you can say whatever you want. The last
gonna kick my
podcast, I kept saying vagina over and over again, talking about something.
It was like a kindergartner when they find out that a word's not supposed to be said. Right? Hey, speaking of that, the other day we're sitting at the dinner table and Alex had gone over to my dad's house and she's over there and Lou's sitting next to me and we're sitting there and they've been watching a show and she had told me, she said, hey, I'm a little worried that he's like picking up words and stuff and I'm trying not to watch shows like that in front of him, but he's very observant. So if you hear him say something, please let me know and I'll make sure we get it corrected. And he walks over to me and he sits down next to me and he says, hey, Dad. I said, what? He said, when you wake up in the morning? I said, uh-huh. He said, say sex to Mom. Honey, I've been married to your mom a long time. I'm not saying that first thing in the morning. I'm not a dumbass.
You'll get nut tapped.
Yeah, I know. I asked her, I was like, what's up with this? And she's like, I'll deal with it.
Don't come home again.
That's exactly right. Just head out. Just
All right.
all right. That was awesome, guys.